Oh, you're very welcome. How is it? It look better, 13? I hope so. It don't look better on my phone. I don't know. Starlink ain't linking. Let's read some science articles. I can't do nothing about it. I'm trying. I see you, landlord. I appreciate you. Johnny, welcome in. How you doing today? How's it going? Okay, this one is from Space Daily. I'm doing good. Trying to stay cool. Trying to beat the heat, Johnny. I'm doing very, very good. Thank you for asking. Okay. Astronauts returning from 6-month missions describe a persistent observer sensation, the feeling of watching their own lives from a half step outside the frame, weeks after they're back on the ground. This one is from Space Daily. Space Daily. How you doing, Johnny? How you been? Astronauts coming home from long stays on the International Space Station have for years described a strange, perceptual aftertaste, a sense of watching their own lives from a half step outside the frame. Astronauts coming from long stays on the International Space Station have for years described a strange perceptual aftertaste, a sense of watching their own lives half a step outside the frame. They sit at dinner with family and feel like a guest. They drive on a familiar street and feel like they're piloting it. The room is loud and they're in it, but a part of them is hovering near the ceiling taking notes. You doing well? That's good. It is not a clinical diagnosis. It does not appear in a DSM, but flight surgeons and crew psychologists who debrief astronauts after 6-month rotations describe it often enough that it has become a recognizable readjustment pattern, an observer sensation that lingers for weeks, sometimes months after splashdown. The descriptions are remarkably consistent across agencies. Crew members talk about feeling slightly delayed in conversations. They report a double alertness, being present while also watching themselves be present. Some say it feels like the first week of a new job that never quite ends. Others compare it to jet lag of the self. NASA's own post-flight reflections from station crews describe the sensation in a plainer language. Home feels staged. Smells are too sharp. Gravity feels theatrical. And the brain, which spent half a year recalibrating for a world without down, treats the familiar as something to be studied rather than inhabited. Returning astronauts describe walking into their own homes and feeling like they are visiting them. Some talk about being unable to put a glass down without watching their hands do it. The patterns show up in oral histories and memoirs, and flight surgeons notes it is one of the quieter costs of long-duration spaceflight. For our deeper dive into this topic, they got a YouTube video. 6 months is roughly the standard expedition rotation aboard the ISS, and it is also the window where neurological adaptations becomes deep enough to require real undoing. The brain is The brain in microgravity rewires fast. The vestibular system, deprived of a consistent gravitational reference, stops trusting the inner ear and starts privileging vision. Proprioception, the sense of where your limbs are without looking, degrades. The visual cortex takes on extra work. When the astronaut comes home, all of that has to reverse, and the reversal is not symmetrical with the adaptation. How you doing, Milton? Long-duration space flights take a measurable physiological toll. Bone density loss, I didn't know that. Fluid shifts that reshape the optic nerve, muscle atrophy that takes months of physiotherapy to undo. You doing okay? The observer's sensation sits alongside these as a perceptual cousin of the physical readjustment. I didn't know that they had to deal with like density loss, bone density loss. NASA's crew health protocols track astronauts across dozens of metrics from launch through years post-landing. Cognitive testing, mood inventories. Oh, I'm reading an article from Space Daily. Is talking about when astronauts returning from 6-month mission, they described a persistent observer sensation, like the feeling of watching their own lives from outside the frame. So NASA crew's health protocols track astronauts across dozens of metrics from launch through years post-landing. Cognitive testing, mood inventory, sleep tracking, and structured debriefs all feed into a longitudinal record. The observer sensation is not a checkbox on the form, but it shows up in the open-ended sections. Some astronauts report feeling of depersonalization or detachment from their readjustment period. According to pattern flight surgeons have observed, with some describing sensations of observing their own lives rather than fully participating in them often enough that flight surgeons recognize it as a pattern rather than an outlier. What's going on with my phones today, guys? I'm sorry. What flight surgeons watch for is whether the sensation resolves on its own or whether it lingers into the kind of persistent dissociation that needs intervention. For most crews, flight surgeons report it appears to fade within several weeks to a couple months. For some, particularly those returning from longer missions or from particularly isolated rotations, it can stretch longer. Richie Riz, thank you for liking the live. Where the sensation comes from, there are at least 3 convergent explanations, and they probably all contribute. The first is neurological. Yeah, it's windy here, but it's hot, so the wind is nice. What happened? Nothing. I don't think anything happened. 13. 6 months in microgravity changes how the brain weighs sensory inputs. When gravity returns, the recalibration is loud. Every step, every glass set on the table, every door open gets routed through a system that is busy updating itself. That extra processing load can feel like watching yourself perform basic tasks. The second is psychological. Long-duration spaceflight enforces a particular kind of vigilance. Every action on station is potentially consequential. A misplaced tool can float into a vent. A wrong switch can vent atmosphere. Astronauts spend half a year in a mode of continuous self-monitoring, checking themselves, narrating their steps, working under camera. That mode does not switch off the moment they're back on Earth. The internal observer that kept them safe in orbit keeps observing in the kitchen. The third is what astronauts themselves have long named the overview effect. The worldview shift that comes from seeing Earth as a single sphere with no borders. The overview effect changes what feels important. Returning crews often describe a temporary inability to take ordinary social friction seriously. Traffic, small talk, office politics, and the emotional distance can read from the inside as a kind of detachment. 6 months on station is not just 6 months in microgravity. It is 6 months in a fixed group of 5 or 6 people in a confined volume. With no option to leave, the social environment of a long mission compresses and amplifies every interpersonal dynamic, and the return home reverses that compression abruptly. Coming back to a world with crowds, choice, unstructured time, and ambient noise is its own form of sensory overload. How you doing, DJ Ty? How's it going? Crews describe grocery stores as overwhelming. They describe parties as exhausting. Some describe wanting to retreat to a quiet room and observe rather than participate. A behavior that can read to a family as withdrawal, but the crew's psychologists understand as decompression. The observer sensation often arrives alongside smaller perceptual oddities. The smell of rain is overwhelming. Wind on skin feels like an event. The first shower after landing is described in mission after mission as almost too much. In microgravity, tears pulled against the eye instead of falling, a small reminder that even the simplest bodily acts have to be relearned on the way down. Food, too, comes back loud. Fluid shifts dull the sense of taste in orbit, and crews come to prefer stronger, spicier foods. Back on Earth, that recalibration reverses, and the first fresh meal can be startlingly intense. A strawberry, several returning astronauts have said, tastes like a different fruit entirely. NASA does not treat post-flight perceptual oddities as quirks. They are operationally important. As an astronaut who feels half outside their own body is also an astronaut whose reaction times, decision-making, and emergency response are degraded. Mission planners care because the same effect will be larger and longer on a Mars transit, where crew will spend many months getting there, extended time on the surface, and many months returning. Work compiled in Frontier's Overview of Spacelife, Science Mythology emphasizes how much of what is known about long-duration human spaceflight still comes from a small sample. Every expedition rotation adds a data set that is still, in statistical terms, very thin. That thinness is part of why the observer sensation has not been formalized into a named syndrome. It shows up in debriefs, it shows up in memoirs. Flight surgeons recognize it, but the cohort is too small and the symptom too subjective to build the kind of clinical framework that exists for, saying, bone density loss or orthostatic intolerance. Kylan, how you doing? Recovery is structured. Returning astronauts go through a 45-day reconditioning program with physical therapists, vestibular specialists, and crew psychologists. The first few days are about being able to walk in a straight line. Wow. The first few weeks are about reloading the bones. The first few months are about sleep, mood, and what flight surgeons sometimes call reintegration, the slow process of feeling like a participant in your own life again rather than a witness to it. How you doing, Michael? Can I hunt deers? I could if I wanted to. How you doing, Kai? J-Bib, I see you. Family is part of the protocol. Spouses and children are briefed before landing. They are told the returning crew may be quieter, may seem distant, may seem to be observing rather than engaging. They are told this is normal and that it passes. How you doing, Louis? Most crew says it does pass. The observer steps back into the room. Gravity stops being theatrical. The strawberry tastes like a strawberry again, but many also say something small stays behind. A awareness of being a person in a body on a planet. A residue of the from the cupola that never fully fades. What flight surgeons watch most carefully now is what happens beyond 6 months. The one-year mission flown by Scott Kelly and Mikhail Chernenko, and the longest days logged by Frank Rubio and Oleg, I don't know how to say his name, Kononenko, suggests the readjustment curve gets steeper rather than gentler. A Mars crew gone for years will return to an Earth that has moved on without them. New music is slaying dead relatives, grown children, and they will return with brains that have spent an extended period adapting to something else. Tana, how's it going? The observer sensation in that context is not a curiosity, it is a preview. The agencies that are seriously planning crew Mars missions are planning for the perceptual return as carefully as they are planning for the radiation shielding. I'm from America, from Texas. Coming home, it turns out, is its own kind of mission, and the part of you that watched yourself float for 6 months does not stop watching the moment your boots touch the tarmac. It watches you walk to the car. It watches you hug your family. It watches the strawberry, and then slowly, week by week, it puts down the camera. Man, I never really kind of considered what all they have to go through when they return. I am not married. Happy hour? No, Denise. Pray for them like you, and their lives depend on it. How you doing, Mike? Mike, you change your picture again? What is that? What is that up there? What you got out there, Mike? Sorry, guys, that was a bit of a long article, but it was interesting. It was interesting. You're from India? What part of India? You just woke up? Did you get some good sleep? I mean, I'm pretty sure you have considered that what they talked about, but I never did, Brent. I never, it makes a lot of sense, so, like, having to recalibrate and, like, be reintroduced to, like, the simplest things. You spend that much time, not relying on gravity for stuff, having to basically monitor and recheck everything you do. Thank you, Mike. I fell asleep last night before Yaya came on live and I missed it, but I appreciate you and Brent taking care of my baby. I was trying to stay up, but I was tired. Tabby was tired. Billy, welcome in. How's it going? Nate, how are you doing today? Yeah, it's natural. Thank you, Humane. Yeah, it's mine. This is my hair. Woo. Thank you, Humane. Keith, welcome in. Yeah, I woke up. I must have fallen asleep right before she went on live. And then I woke up at like 1, and I was like, oh, she's not on anymore. I called her. I was like, you said 5? 5 what? More giant 8 and 9 foot tall people are starting to pop up around the world. Really? Training day. How you doing, Monty? How's it going? Mike, thank you for the heart me. He drinking a latte with his shades on. As in the days of no. Oh, no. I've cut my hair so many times. More than I can count. I'll let it grow and then cut it maybe like an inch and a half short. It's been very, very short. I mean, it's been a while since, I don't know when the last time I had a haircut. Maybe a year and a half ago. How you doing, Munchies with Jazz? I appreciate you stopping by, beautiful. Yeah, it's been a little while, but not that long. Really? Thank you. I don't know. I kind of feel like I present myself better when I blow like semi straighten it. But then when I'm lazy and I don't feel like wearing it like that, I just wear it naturally. People give me the most compliments. I do, but when I was younger, I didn't get compliments. I got about it all the time. Aw, thank you, Munchies. I appreciate you. Do you also go live? So it's not really this big on its own, but I just kind of comb it out. I comb the curls out because I don't really like the way the curls look when I don't comb them out. They look too, like, I don't know. I kind of prefer the frizz more than anything else. Yes, I'm mixed. So my mom is black and she has native on both sides of her family. One person is Puerto Rican. My dad's side is Scottish, English, different parts of Europe, but it's mainly Scotland and England. I have a good channel. I paint and make jewelry. Gonna start doing interviews with other YouTubers. Okay, cool. Yeah, that'll be cool. Food channel. Thank you, Humane. Marlon, welcome in. Dennis, how's it going? Did you pick up your fur babies, PJ? Did you feed them? Thank you, Humane. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Thank you, user 633. I appreciate that. Thank you. I do live off grid. I have a tiny house in the woods. So I have a tiny house. It's on a trailer. It's parked out in the middle of the woods. I have solar set up. So that's how I get electricity. I'm not connected to any municipals. I have solar. I do rain can for water. And you change your picture back, Mike. And I have a wood burning stove to heat the house in the wintertime, to cook on in the winter. Yeah. My kids are 2 food, no fault food. Thank you for the compliment, Jesus63. Tabby, please reveal our community give. You can find it by tapping live gifts. About security trailer. I am safe where I am. I'm on a property, 240 acres of land. I'm parked in the same spot. Please reveal our community give. You can find it by tapping live gifts. How I do it? Yes, I rent the space. Well, thank you, user633. Thank you, Eloy. It can't be safe if you're on public land. Well, for me to be able to do everything that I'm doing, I have to be outside the city limits. Riddick, how's it going? How do I do it, Mike? Let's see. Live gifts. I'm trying to figure out how to do it. Hold on, y'all. Did it do it? I'm here with my girls. I have 2 daughters. I mean, you could always try it if you don't like it, you know. Strange, how you doing? It's good. Did you see it? I didn't see it. Mike, did you see it? It is peaceful. I enjoy it. I've been living off the grid for almost 11 years. In a few weeks, it'll be 11 years. Mike, did you see it? I didn't see. Did anybody see the community gift? Let's see. My phone taking forever. Hold on, guys. I can't see the comments for a minute. Yeah, I see it needs to be revealed. Okay. I do work remotely. I'm a groundskeeper for the property that I'm on. How often do I visit the cities? It just depends. It's been a while since I've been to the big city. I go to the town that I live closest to, but alright, user 633, blessings to you. Hold on, guys, because I don't know what's up with my Starlink today. Okay. Revealed to make it available to viewers. Okay, hold on. Hold on, y'all. Your community gift. I got a name. It's a name your gift. Pick your community gift name and look. Tabby Wave. Oh, what happened with it? Hold on, y'all. Hold on. It's taking a while. Can you see it? Shogun, how you doing? Yakuza, thank you for the follow. How are you? George, I see you. Alright, y'all, it should be up there. It's called Tabby Land Spark. Young Miami. It's in there. It is the AI art that Mike made. They changed it a little bit, like the coloring, but it's up there. Jay Remy, welcome back in. Fly, how's it going? There you go, Mike. Tabby Land Spark. How did you guys do that? How did you do that, Mike? What did you have to do that? Somebody cutting grass? I'm not cutting grass today. I don't feel like cutting that grass. I'm sure in certain parts it needs it, but I don't feel like doing it. You got skills? Well, thank you, Mike. I like it. It's cute. It is very cute. I was not expecting that. That's very cool. Augustine, welcome in. Big Bank, how are you? The Vicious Swagger, welcome back in. How are you doing, Chosen? How you feeling today? Happy Tuesday. Happy Tuesday. I guess the community rank got high enough to have that. Thank you, James, for the review. I mentioned before, people unfollow. People I follow have gifts that look like them. Push more, Lonnie. I guess the community rank got high enough to have that. I wonder if it's for like the certain, because you know they have the community rank in the gift gallery. You prayed for me, thank you. Chauncey, how's it going? Why it chooses what it does for the pic avatar? Oh, okay. That's cool. Do we get... No, it's okay. Do we get more? Like, would that be the only one, or will I be able to get more? How you doing today, Chauncey? How you feeling? Dale, thank you for the follow. Oh, okay. Well, thank you, Mike. It's cool. I like it. I really, really like it. To go to town today. I need to return. I need to go by UPS because I need to return something. And those of y'all that have experience with returning stuff to Amazon, if it's a large package and you gotta return to UPS, will they print out? Can you ask them to print out the label for you? I don't have a printer. Senor, how's it going? How many acres do you landscape around your home? Maybe an acre, if that. It used to be a lot more, but I let the trees grow in. And then certain areas around the property, the driveway, but thank you, 13. I got bit by an ant. Carlito, how are you doing? It is lots of work. Sometimes I feel like I don't have enough hours in the day to do all the stuff I need to do. With me being on, live streaming. Thank you, Donald. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Archangel, how you doing? Donald, thank you for the heart me. And the roses. Thank you, Mike, for the club cheers. Ismail, how you doing? Thank you guys for the gift. Marlon, welcome in. Donna, thank you for sharing the live. Let's see. Charles, how you been? Tonight is game night. We're going to be playing. Thank you, Jane, for the Tabby Land Spark. I like saying that. Thank you for the Tabby Land Spark. That's cool. I could have changed the name, but that's what they had up there. You hungry? I'm hungry too. Brent, thank you for liking the live. Thank you, James. We all hungry. I don't want to do nothing today. I want to be lazy. I want to be lazy and do nothing. Lay in the hammock, take it easy. I don't want to do nothing today. I don't feel like doing nothing. I got stuff I got to do. I don't want to do any of it. I don't want to do none of it. Popeye and got some milk. I drank some milk this morning, Mike. Popeye is hearty. It's kind of heavy for all the heat, Mike. I like chicken pot pie. Serenity, welcome in. How you feeling today? At least pick one day of the week to just chill. That's usually on Saturday. And Dr. Pepper with mine. It's usually on Saturday, but I didn't really do that this past Saturday. I still came on live. I don't know. But me coming on live a bit earlier, like at 10:30, it helps me feel like I have more time in my day because my lives they're less closer together. Because usually I'm on for like 2 hours in the morning and at least 2 hours at night. So when me coming on at 10:30, I get off at 12:30. It gives me some time. Yeah, KFC Popeye is good. My mom, she used to take one of her church members. She would pick her up from work, and the church member would like work at KFC, and she would give my mom like chicken and Popeyes. None of them ate the Popeyes, but I would eat them. They were pretty good. Robert, how you doing? Yeah, chores are never finished. There's always something to do. What's funny is people are like, what do you do out there all day? I'm like, so many things. Too much to do. There's always something to do. Always something you can work on or clean or make sure it's still functioning properly. James, you're supposed to be going to Washington, right? When are you going for Washington? What's the weather like today? Hot. It is hot, law-abiding taxpayer. It is hot today. Let's see. It's currently, right now, it's 90 degrees. 12th of August. It's 91 degrees right now. 91. Two weeks, stay 2 weeks. Oh, that's nice. I hope you have a good time. You enjoy it, James. Nope. My and the Tabby Lane Sparks. I hope we're able to get more Tabby Lane gifts. That one's cool. Roof steak and heat, yeah. Steven, welcome in. Thank you, James. Tabby Lane Sparks. Let's see. I don't know what's going on with my Starlink, but it's moving very slow today. I hadn't moved it or anything. And it's still. Halo, how you doing? How's it going? Thank you, 13. How you feeling today, Halo? Okay, one last article, and then Tabby gonna head out because I gotta go down. Let's see. I cover mine with liquid cooling. See that? Really? Once right now, what you gonna have for lunch? Y'all want another space article or y'all want something else? Ten Lynn, how's it going? Linux, welcome in. Okay, this one is a bit different. This one is from Visual Capitalist. Home prices versus incomes. How many years of income to buy a home in every state? So Montana now has America's highest home price to income ratio, surpassing California and New York. Wow. Iowa remains the country's most affordable housing market, requiring just 3.7 years of median household income to buy a typical home. America's housing affordability map looks very different than it did a decade ago. Several states that drew new residents with relatively low home prices now rank among the country's least affordable markets relative to local incomes. Using median listing prices and median household income from Realtor.com, this map shows how many years of income it takes to buy a typical home in every state. The results reveal where home prices have pulled furthest ahead of local earning power. Have a great, thank you, Troy. I'm doing good, Gary. How are you? Gembo, welcome in. Robert, how's it going? Okay, let's look at Texas. Is Texas on there? Let's see. Ooh. I see you, Mike. Okay, it says Montana is now less affordable than California. A typical home in Montana costs 8.7 years of household income, surpassing California, New York, and Massachusetts. The results would have seemed unlikely a decade ago when Montana was widely viewed as an affordable alternative to coastal markets. I have looked for land in Montana and it is extremely expensive. Montana's ranking illustrates how dramatically America's household market has shifted. Home prices surged during the pandemic-era migration boom, and between 2020 and 2025, the state's population grew 5.9%, helping fuel demand in a market with limited housing supply. Meanwhile, neighboring Idaho saw the third fastest growth in net migration and now ranks among the 10 most unaffordable states relative to income. The affordable Sun Belt is getting harder to find. The shift isn't limited to one state. Many Sun Belt markets that attracted millions of Americans with lower housing costs have become significantly less affordable as prices climb faster than local incomes. We've known that. Priscilla, how you doing? What is like over in America, not even from there? It greatly depends on what state you go to, Linux. Higher pop, higher demand, higher prices, yeah. You're doing fine. Cali should be cheaper considering earthquakes. I've lived in California too. Now a medium income household in Texas can no longer afford a median price home valued at $364,700. Promisingly, however, Texas and Florida are building more homes than any other state, holding a combined 27% of the nation's building permits in 2025. I believe that. Curtis, how you doing? This highlights how fast affordability has deteriorated in some of America's fastest growing states. While these markets remain less expensive than California or New York, home prices have risen much faster than many buyers expected. The Midwest is emerging as America's affordability stronghold. While affordability has eroded across much of the country, the Midwest remains a notable exception. Iowa ranks as the most affordable state in America, requiring just 3.7 years of household income to purchase a typical home, at about $283,000 in 2025. Nearby states including Ohio, Indiana, Illinois, and Kansas also rank among the country's most attainable housing markets, where median house prices remain near or below $300,000. There's no space here anymore, just neighborhoods, yeah. I agree, Priscilla. Each of these homes has a home price to income ratio close to what the median U.S. home buyer faced in 2000. A generation ago, Americans could often find more affordable housing by moving away from expensive coastal markets. Today, several of those destinations rank among the country's least affordable places relative to local incomes. The result in a new housing landscape where affordability is increasingly concentrated in a handful of Midwestern states, while much of the country's growth corridors have become harder for local households to afford. Oh, okay, I see you, Priscilla. Man, that's kind of near Huntsville, which was country, is starting to look like Spring, North Houston. That makes me so sad. Like, by the time Yo-Yo is old enough to purchase a home or something, how is she gonna do that? Yaya feels like it's not even doable. That's why she's like, Mama, you gotta find land so we can build me something. She came back to Louisiana to take care of my mom. That's very noble of you, Lonnie. How are people gonna be able to? It just makes it so hard. If, like in our parents' time and my parents' time, you could get by, you can live decently with just one income in the house, right? Nowadays, both mom and dad gotta work. How people supposed to have kids and be okay? And even still, they still can't afford to get a home. Back to basics. Or scarce rapidly on top of land hoarders, people who own land just to sit on it. Yeah. It's too expensive, even to rent. People can't afford renting. There's a lot of people that do the whole van life thing, or tiny houses, or RVs, or they live in their car because they can't afford it. It's a lot of people that van dwell or living out of their cars, or not even that. People, they live in hotels. Just gone. Just to put a car, large, huge complex. Yeah. How you doing? Welcome in. A lot of people, I've seen it on TikTok, people talk about living in a hotel. It's like they don't have to pay for electricity, water, internet. If you eliminate all the luxuries in life, then it's more affordable. The whole family has to pitch in. Why would a person want to have, like, if I was a young person, I'd be like, I'm not having kids. There's no way. You can't afford it. It's too expensive. It's ridiculous. Stream Studio, how you doing? You can't. It's just so, and it's every year it gets more. It's more and more expensive. Samsung, how you doing? Estoy bien, ¿cómo estás tú? Tomorrow World Cup matches. It's so expensive. People can barely afford to take care of themselves. How are they gonna take care of kids? Phone bill is $100 if you have family. It's $200 with internet. Oh, I know, Isaac. I got it. I got 2 girls and they have phones. I say Sweden, Mexico, Congo. These are very expensive, especially girls. You know, they need extra stuff. They want extra stuff. I say Sweden, Mexico, and the Congo. It's way too expensive. Way too expensive. Thank you, son. Blessings to you. I hope you have an amazing day. Why my hair look like that? Alright guys, tonight is game night. We're going to be playing Connect 4. Maybe we'll play Uno. If you guys have any other suggestions for games, let me know. We can play it. We'll figure out a way. Nowadays it's made too convenient. Nobody knows how to survive. Logan, how are you? How are you feeling today? Thank you, son. Stream Studio. So yeah, if you want to play me in Connect 4 or Uno, how many animals do you have? I have 2. That's cool, Priscilla. I hope you enjoy your day. Don't claim it, Logan. Don't claim it. Don't claim it. Have you been doing what I asked you to do? Like 5 things that you're grateful for and 5 things that you like about yourself? Raise the refrigerator and then normally took to freeze and cool? Wow. Host Sam, welcome in. Social media fake life. That is gonna make me sad, Isaac. That's ridiculous. That is ridiculous. I'm really glad I got my tiny house when I did, because if I would have, so that was in 2015. When did COVID start? 2019, right? There's no way I would have been struggling a bit. If I would have been downtown, I was rent for that and everything, there's no way. Thank you, Logan. I appreciate you. Alright guys, Tabby has to head out. I have to go to town. I gotta go to UPS. Pray for Yaya today. She goes and takes her test for her GED. Pray that she passes. She's taking the history part. So say a prayer for my Yaya. I'll see you guys 8:30 Central Time if y'all want to play games play games. Thank you so much, Brent and Mike, for moderating my live, and also Yaya's. Oh, thank you, James. I hope you have a good day. Isaac, I hope you have a good day. Logan, I hope you have a good day. I have to leave now. I gotta go to town, but I'll be back on tonight. I hope y'all have a wonderful day. I pray that whatever you do today, you do it with a smile on your face and love in your heart. I think she'll find a replacement too. Well, I kind of figured like as she gets started, we could help her out, and then as she gets her own regulars, she can get her own mods. That way y'all don't have to work so much. you know. Thank you, Victor. Job security around Thailand getting closer. What? Not me. I'm not. You guys are it for me. I'm not trying to replace y'all. No, I figure with Yaya, if she's made friends and she get her little regulars, maybe she would get her own mods. All right, y'all. See y'all later. I'll send y'all my love. Y'all have a great and amazing day. All right. I'll see you, Mel. Bye, Logan. Bye, Tim. Bye, guys.